All right, everyone. Here we are for my last stream of the weekend. Hopefully, after this, we are back to our regularly scheduled programming of one stream a week. And this stream is both a blessing and a curse because blessing because it's the last one of the weekend, curse because, well, we only have 5 matchups. We had 2 more forfeit losses. One of them was a 2-way FFL. One of them was a just bro didn't want to play. He kind of forgot about the match and decided he would rather touch grass than play Pokemon. And like, who does that? Am I right? Like, who wants to touch grass instead of playing Pokemon? Imagine having a healthy lifestyle. Couldn't be me. Anyway, just kidding. Shout out to Bozy. So yeah. Gonna be a relatively short stream today. Like I said, we only have 5 out of the normally 7 matches to cover. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, we have Alberto and the Brazilian Groviles versus Orhan and the Eindhoven Jaegers. Looking at Alberto's team here, we see that he did bring the standard Terra captains that we, probably suspect from his very rain synergistic team. He has the Terra Sandy Shocks going electric, grass, and fairy. Floatzel is water, grass, and fairy, so pretty neutral typings, or pretty samey typings there. Obviously, they both had to pick an innate typing, and that's the only difference. That being said, looking at this matchup, I think this is interesting. Obviously, like Floatzel, if it clicks Terra, it's probably just going to click Terra Water. I've said that before, and I'm going to say that every stream. What up, Table? What up, P4? Yeah, I've said that every stream, and I'm going to probably continue to. He's probably just going to go for the Terra Water unless he's in a situation where he really needs to terrestrialize the Sandy Shocks. So we'll see there. I don't really like a lot of the matchups for Sandy Shocks Terra in this particular instance. I think Fairy is probably his best bet just because it lets him check Baxcalibur coming into a 1v1 situation. Like, obviously he's weak to ice type moves. He wants to be able to neutralize those ice type moves. Clicking grass really wouldn't be beneficial. Clicking electric would be, but Terra Fairy lets him Terra Blast in return to deal some good damage. It also lets him resist potential glaive rushes or scale shots or whatever have you going for it. But I do think, it's a rain team. He has a Floatzel. He's probably just going to click Terra Water. What's up, Wah? Yeah. Looking at Orhan's Terra captains, we see the Thunderous, which has... Ooh, if I could... Oh, I was trying to scroll down and I was already at the bottom. Oh well. Thunderous has Terra Electric, Terra Ice, and Terra Fairy. I'm going to sound like a broken record here. Should be Terra Flying. Orhan, change it. Especially because you are the bro with... No, it's other... It's so common every season where all of the genies get drafted that I end up forgetting who has Incarnate, who has Therian. I just know, yeah, this person has Thundy, this person has Torn. So, whatever. But yeah, Terra Flying. That's what it should be. Anyway, Terra Electric is good into this team, unironically, so I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's playing a rain team, so Terra Electric looks really good here. Though, not... Like, into this particular matchup, I can see why Terra Electric might not be the greatest thing in the world. Obviously, he has a Sandy Shocks. There's a Iron Crown. Oh, Iron Crown doesn't resist. Never mind. It really is probably there just to check Floatzel and Pelipper. Floatzel can Terra out of it, but like I said, probably clicking Terra Water. So there's that. We do see the Terra Thwacky with Grass, Water, and Rock. Terra Rock looks good here. It deals with Pelipper, who's probably not going to click Weather Ball into it. Or probably not going to click Hurricane. Or what? Yeah, no, I was right the first time. Probably not going to click Weather Ball into it. So if he goes for that Hurricane Reed, that could be huge, but firing off a Terra Blast Rock would be great into Pelipper, as it is super effective. Terra Water for the Sandy Shocks, but at that point, just click Terra Grass. Like, yeah, because duh. That way you still resist the electric moves. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, probably Terra Grass on the Thwacky. And probably Terra Electric on the Thunderous. Though, I guess you could make a weird case for Terra Fairy. No, you really can't. It's Terra Electric, I think. Terra Ice for Bolt Beam, I guess, but this team doesn't really need Bolt Beam coverage. I think a Terra Electric Stab is probably just the way to go. So, let's get into it and let's see. You see a Slowking lead versus Sandy Shocks. Does a lot of damage. Gets the Para rough. Chilly Reception comes out. So we are going to see a Weather War. Obviously, I should have highlighted that when we saw the Slowking. So Alberto has a bit of a pickle on his ham. Here we have Evarg Ebab. I'll let you guys read that backwards and remember what Muck's name is. We're all adults here. We can have fun. Nice Protect on the X-Scissor. Getting some grassy terrain recovery. Out comes the Mountain. Chunks that critical hit very well. Nice. Conkeldurr is fat. Back into Slowking. Ooh, fat knockoff. We see Colbur Berry revealed and used on the Slowking. Goes for a knockoff again. Chilly Rep gets that snow back up. Out comes the grassy terrain. So, for as far as the terrain... Wow, that was a fat Woodhammer. Ooh. Banded, okay. Mach Punch resists, nice. Back out into... Ooh, nice. Good switch there from Alberto. Grass not super effective, but not doing a lot of damage. Volt Switch doing significantly more and hitting neutral. Here come the keys. Keys get knocked. What do we see on the keys? Light Clay, of course. Not of course, but pretty standard. We see Rain for the first time from Alberto, as we do see screens come up, and the bird gets paralyzed. That could be detrimental, as we do see a full para there. Weather Ball, yep, pretty standard. Resisted Weather Ball, both parried. Who gets hard parried first? Not the bird. Do we see... No, neither of them get full parried. Very good. We do see snow come back up, as Alberto puts himself in a position where he doesn't care about the fact that rain is gone. That is huge. Stone Axe misses. Not great. Knockoff dealing a lot of damage through the light, that was Light Screen, not Reflect. Duh. Poison Jab. No poison. And we know he doesn't live another X-Scissor. He goes for the Protect there, trying to stall out those snow turns. Back into the big conch. Stone Axe tanks it. Nice. U-turns out. Does a lot of damage still. Ooh, resists a Drain Punch. Heals him up just a little bit. Probably doesn't want to stay in there, though. Does clear out the rocks. Eats a Chilling Water. Conkeldurr not looking so good anymore. Probably sacrifice fodder at this point, I would reckon, or potential Mach Punch cleanup. We do see another Protect again, trying to whittle down those snow turns, denying the Stealth Rocks coming up. Back into Conch, we see a Sack, and rocks do come up. So that means he does lose his Defogger. Those rocks are here to stay. Here comes the Crown. Eats a U-turn. Ooh, does not like that. Goes for Agility, trying to set up here. Pretty low health, though. Out come the keys. Are we going to see a Thunder Wave? Yes, we are. And it gets hard parried. Rough. Sets up screens. Goes for Tachyon. It's going to eat that. Goes for another Agility, trying to counteract that paralysis. Does get full parried again. Tanks a Dazzling Gleam. Gets full parried again. Still in a really scary position, though. Like, he's really fast still. The only thing holding him back right here is going to be the paras. And we see a Grassy Glide not pick up the KO. Tachyon is... another full pair of rough. Chilling Water, not quite enough. Another full... Wow. And down goes the crown. After getting full para, like, what was that, 4 or 5 times? Very rough. Slowking does not like that Thunderbolt. Does get full parried. Are we going to see a hard switch here now? Yes, we are. Cleavor goes down to Thunderbolt. Yep. Not looking great for Orhan. Thundy goes for Terra Ice. Terra Blast. Yeah, that checks. Knockoff picks up another KO. Things are looking pretty dire for Orhan here. Let's see what this Baxcalibur can do. Does he pull a Dallas and spam Dragon Dances? No, he does not. Goes for an Earthquake on the... Oh, there we go. There's the Dragon Dance. Should call it the Dallas Dance. A lot of hacks this game. Yeah, no kidding. Terra Water, Wave Crash does pick up the KO on the resist. That thing's banded to hell. Sets up Sunny Day. Not enough. GG Alberto. Putting in a lot of work. Getting a nice little 3-0 differential. God damn it. Every single stream, we get one of these. Oh no, is it going to start playing? Okay, cool. Let me go to the viewers. Let me... I am enjoying having some background music that is not just, I have to include a timestamp to report them? Whatever, they're blocked. I don't give a shit. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Next fight. Again, GG's Alberto, GG's Orhan. You put up a valiant effort. Can I delete that message, actually? I should be able to delete the message, right? Wah! Yes, it is you, Wah. Tis indeed the Wah. Alright, they have been banned. Yeah, it says one message was deleted by moderator, but it's still showing... oh, the message is showing up, not the actual... whatever, that's kind of dumb. Anyway, carrying on. Regularly scheduled programming. We get into Wah and the Ottawa Cavaliers versus Wolfie and the Leftover Onions. Whoever I see first is getting covered first. Wolfie. Shitballs. He made trades. Give me a second. I'm gonna go look at the Terra transaction page. So he originally had Skeledirge and Cyclozar. We do not see the Cyclozar. We only see the Skeledirge going Ghost, Water, and Fairy. Oh, really quick, I don't know who put in Wolfie's Terra transactions, but you did do them wrong. I will have to go ahead and correct that. It's okay. Yeah, he should not have 5 Terra free agencies left. He should have a lot less. That's okay. Damn, is there any other ones of those that got missed? Oh no. Yeah, there's a few of those that got fucked up. It's okay. I can go fix that. Anyway, too easy. Yeah. Anyway, Terra, Ghost, Fairy, and Water on the whatchamacallit, the Skeledirge. In this particular matchup, let's look at... Yeah, I don't see a world where he doesn't click Terra Fairy. Maybe he goes for Terra Water to resist Basculegion. Is that Basculegion? That's Basculegion female, right? No, it's Basculegion male. Okay. I actually don't think we... Do we have a disparagement between the two in ODL? I don't remember. I don't ever see them get drafted. We do. Okay, so yeah, you had to pick one or the other. You know how to fix some right Wa? If not, I can do it after the stream. If not, I can do it after the stream. Cool beans. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Anyway, yeah, looking at this team, I think he just probably goes for the standard Terra Fairy. It does let him deal with Darkrai, which is a huge threat. The issue with this, though, is there's like a 50-50 between the two. Darkrai could go for the Dark Pulse in the Ghost type, or he could make a read on Terra Fairy and go for Sludge Bomb, which is probable. We've seen shit like that happen a lot, especially when that's your only Terra Captain, and you do have a track record of only picking Terra Fairy. Not that that's a wrong track record to have. I mean, Skeleturge loves Terra Fairy. I do think it likes Terra Water too, but in the broad scheme of things, especially on a team that doesn't have a Fairy type, not that he really needs it in this particular matchup. There's no Ghost types. There's no Dragon types. Doesn't have any Steel types. Doesn't have any Poison types. So, like, Terra Fairy's obviously really free, I think. Comfey can run Giga Drain. Terrapagos gets Thunderbolt. So, I do see a world where Terra Fairy is probably the most optimal. And then looking at Wa's team. Let me take a look while you do this. Cool beans. Looking at Wa's team, the Ottawa Cavaliers, we see the Deoxys Defense Terra Captain with Terra... Well, Terra Psychic, Terra Poison, and Terra Water. Probably doesn't want to stay Terra Psychic because of the Gambit and the Skeleturge and the Scizor. So, not looking great in that department. Probably wants to Terra out of that. Terra Poison looks good into Terra Fairy Skeleturge. Neutralizes your weakness from, like, Gambit, realistically. Well, not really even, I guess, huh? Yeah, I don't think Terra Poison's the moves here either, and Terra Water doesn't look great into the likes of Zapdos. Would be good for walling both Skeleturge and Urshifu. Any of the Steel type moves that come out of Scizor. So I could see that being a thing, but I don't think Deoxys is the Terra Captain of choice this go around. Let's look at Comfey. We see Terra Fairy, Fire, and Water. I think Terra Fire looks really good into this matchup, being as Comfey gets bullied by both Gambit and Scizor. That's really huge, though. Excuse me. Okay, after this Terra talk, I'm gonna have to go grab some water or something. I am parched. Yeah, I think Terra Fire is the moves here. Terra Water, obviously, for the same reasons as Deoxys Defense, isn't the greatest in the world. Not when there's a lingering Zapdos right there. So I do believe we're gonna see a Terra Fire Comfey and probably a Terra Fairy Skeleturge. So I will be right back. Gonna go grab some Bevy and we'll get on with the fight. Oh god, I almost tripped over my own cord. Oh, that's why I almost tripped over my cord. I got caught up in the wheel of my chair. Anyway, I am back. I have Bevy, so I should probably take a drink of Bevy. God, I love water. You know what they say, hydrate or dihydrate. Anyway, let's get on with the second match. We see a Terrapagos lead versus an Urshifu lead. Does he break the Star Shell here? No, goes for Basque. On the U-turn. Neither of them like that matchup. Wah does not like that matchup. Ooh, fat damage there done to the Darkrai. We do see Leech Seed, very nice tech. Combos very well with Triage, giving it an extra little boost to healing. Here comes some Calm Minds. Looks really good in front of Zapdos. Unfortunately, Zapdos misses a T-Wave. And we do see another set of Leech Seed. Zapdos stays in on the Draining Kiss. We do see a Paralyze. Okay. Zapdos' health just got chunked, and it is dead. Oh, no, it's not. It's got Roost. Very nice. But the sustain here on both sides, obviously working very well in Wah's favor, so he's just going to sit there and Calm Mind up. Here comes the Skeledirge, which, ooh, good read there. Good Leech Seed read on the switch. Roar, nice. Okay, stop that setup. I thought of clicking Terra Fairy, Draining Kiss on the chance to KO, but I didn't want to get full Terra. So you are running Terra Fairy? Okay. I thought Terra Fire looked really good here. Ooh, Volt Switch crit! Gross! Draining Kiss doing a shitload of damage, bringing this thing up nearly to full. 1, 2, 3. It does live. Don't get full parried. Ooh! Out comes the Scizor. Grody. Ooh, knockoff almost killing, not quite. Getting rid of the Rocky Helmet, so it's going to take some chip from that, and Life Orb chip. Putting Scizor in a pretty bad situation. And Nightshade picks up the KO. Nice. Also, shout out to the Lavender Town music playing in the background. I love Lavender Town's music. Also, for those of you that don't know, there was, I want to say it was the original copy of Red/Blue/Green, where, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I think on release they had to change the music later. It might, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they just changed it for the Fire Red Leaf Green remakes. But there was an issue with trigger warning, suicides and causes. I think it was like seizures that the Lavender Town was giving to people, like the music specifically. So that's pretty fun. Lavender Town's creepy, and they say Pokemon's a kid's game. Anyway, Gambit versus Cinderace, does not like that matchup. Goes for Smackdown. Awesome tech, bringing him down to the ground, doing a shitload of damage. Switches into Chomp. Goes for it again. Wild tech there from Moss. Sax, yep. Bye-bye, Comfey. Rock Slide breaking the Terra Shell. Ice Beam picks up the KO. Down goes Chomp. Lots of Stealth Rock damage there. Goes for Meteor Beam. We see Power Herb. Yes, we do. Down goes Skeledirge. Holy shit. And this thing's got a boost now. Not looking too great. Earth Power. Holy fuck. Terrapagos. Grabbing bodies. Switches out there. Tanks that close combat. Is Urshifu locked in? Yes, he is. Gets a Nightshade kill there. And Zapdos, we do see Boots. I think we already saw Boots. I just didn't comment on it. Nightshade, unfortunately, doesn't do enough damage into Zapdos. He can heal more, but Bro only has... He's got enough Roosts left, I guess. Oh, but he's got recovery of his own. Now it's a battle of attrition, and Zapdos is not winning it, unfortunately. Spams Volt Switch. I think Bro just gave up at this point. Realizes the battle is lost. Lives at 7 just for... Oh, wow. Goes for Roost again. Okay. He's just playing this out. Teleports out into Cinderace. Smackdown. Boom. Get goobed. Very clean win from Wah. 4-0. Dominates that. Beautiful. Beautiful play there, Wah. That was great to watch. Good fight indeed. All right. Next matchup, we see Tim and the not terrifying Turtwigs. Bro didn't change his team name, but this season he is the Three Little Ponies. And does he have all of his ponies still? I don't remember when he made his trades. I think this is post-trade. Yeah, it is, because he... Yeah, he has the Vaporeon. No? I don't remember. Anyway, irrelevant. Terra Captains. We see Terra Thundy T with Electric, Water, and Fairy. Again, you have Volt Absorb. You should be Terra Flying. Whatever. Even if he lost a Unicorn, Hitmontop is an added one. Yeah, you're right. But it's not the Three Little Unicorns, it's the Three Little Ponies. That is an important distinction. Though, I guess technically they all were pony. Well, I don't know. Does Thundy T really have... Does he have a horn? Does Thunderous Therian have a horn? I can't see because of his big-ass forehead. Oh yeah, he does have a little horn. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could argue that Vaporeon has one too. I guess we'll watch from TBL's perspective. Just because he's here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Terra Electric, Water, and Fairy. In this matchup, I think Terra Water looks good into Chi-Yu. Terra Fairy looks good into Chi-Yu, Iron Hands, and Duraludon. Yes, it does still hit neutral, but that's okay. Actually, all of his Terras hit... No, not all of them. Electric and Water are resisted. So yeah, Terra Fairy is probably the best one there to hit neutral on the Duraludon. Doesn't really have a counter for Terra Fairy either, per chance, except for the Duraludon. Clicking like Flash Cannon or something like that. So yeah, looking at Hitmontop, we see Terra Fighting, Steel, and Ground. No, that's a Fin on Vape. I know it's a Fin, but we could... For the sake of Tim's argument, we could argue that it could be a horn, even though it's very clearly a fin. So now we have to coerce him into changing it into the Four Little Ponies. You're right, it is a fin, but I think we can gaslight Tim into thinking it's a horn. We could try. Valiant effort. Let's see it. ODL, let's start gaslighting Tim. Terra types on Hitmontop. Fighting, Steel, and Ground. In this particular matchup, Terra Ground looks pretty good into Chi-Yu, into Hands, into Duraludon. Pretty nice. It does get walled by Milotic, unfortunately, and is now weak to Milotic and Sinistcha and Ice Punch Hands, because Hands has coverage, because of course he does. He's Iron fucking Hands. No, I don't accept it. That sucks. Yeah, I think realistically we're going to see a Terra type from Thundurus here. Well, I don't know, man. Actually, Terra Fairy and Terra Ground both look really good into this team, so I think it's just a matter of what position he is in. And he needs to do it. Looking at TBL's Terra Captains, we have the Iron Hands, which has Terra Fighting, Flying, and Fairy, and Sinistcha, which is Ghost, Steel, and Poison. Iron Hands looks pretty good here with Terra... well, I don't know, actually. Hold on. I had a thought process. Now I'm kind of mildly regretting it. Terra Fairy looks pretty alright into Hitmontop and into... what's the cat's name? Meowscarada. Though you would want to be pretty careful about dealing with Weezing. That being said, a lot of the times we know Hands likes to run Assault Vest, so you probably could win that 1v1. Yeah, I think you could win that 1v1, unless he, for some reason, does a shitload of investment into the Weezing. So Terra Fairy looks pretty good here. Terra Flying looks good to also deal with the Meow. It deals with Terra Fairy. And if he doesn't want a Terra to deal with the Meow, he could just click any fighting type move. So all three of his Terra types look good into Meowscarada. Though Meowscarada does have access to Triple Axle, and I believe Poison Jab? Or Gunk Shot. Is it one of the two? I don't know. Sinistcha is rocking Terra Ghost, Terra Steel, and Poison. Terra Poison looks good into Enam. Looks good into Meow. Terra Steel looks pretty decent here also to deal with Enam and the Weezing, as well as provide a... I don't want to call it a counter nor a check, but resist the Meowscarada. Not that it's going to be clicking Flower Trick into it, but like knock off it hits neutral. Ice, what's that move? Triple Axle hits neutral. Or no, Triple Axle gets resisted actually. So we could see Terra steal from the Sinistra. Probably doesn't want to stick Terra Ghost in front of Meowscarada. That is a little bit of a scariness. And I'm 95% positive that Galarian Weezing gets access to. We know it gets Will-O-Wisp, and I'm pretty sure it gets Thunder Wave. Probably gets Hex too. No, I don't think it does get Hex. I don't think it does get Hex. Eh, it might. Don't quote me on that. So I do realistically think we're going to see a Terra Fairy from the Iron Hands, though. I think that's the more plausible of situations. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get into it. Hands versus Cat. Protein Bug does resist on the U-turn. Comes into the Galarian Weezing. We see a Drain Punch does fuck all. Switches into Duraludon. Ooh, does get Wisp. Iron Hands dodged a very, very nice Will-O-Wisp there. Rocks come up. Thunderbolt comes out. Doesn't do a shit lick worth of damage. Draco Meteor does more damage, but lowers his special attack, so he's not going to be able to keep that up. We see a Wish come out. Sinistcha comes in. Eats a Scald. Does get burned. Unfortunate. And we did see... And I'll wait till we see it again. I don't know if Tim was paying attention to this, but we just saw the Sinistcha eat 6% of his burn damage, which is kind of a pretty huge tell that this is Hospitality, not Heat Proof, because Heat Proof would have negated the damage in half, because that's how Heat Proof works. So he would have only taken 3% from the burn, so he would have actually still net positive with his leftovers. So it's pretty rough there. Also, shout out to P4 for filling me in on that information. I was not aware of that interaction. I thought it just prevented fire damage from moves, not all fire damage. So the more you know. Anyway, Strength Sap heals back up, lowers the attack of the Vaporeon, which doesn't really matter. Meow comes out. I think Sinistcha wants to switch here, even though it did just get up a Calm Mind. Westboro goes for a Terra, which we see him not do. Goes for U-turn. Resists that again. Out comes Top, and there's no... Ooh! Do we see a Rapid Spin here? Do we see a... Oh, Bulldoze! Technician boosted Bulldoze. Very nice. Rapid Spin to pick up the KO and clear rocks. Beautiful play there from Tim. Overheat to pick up that. Obviously, the fish does not want to stay in there. Back out to Sinistcha. Scald is resisted. We do see the burn damage, though. Machagacha. Does it land a burn? Nope. What is Table yelling at me in chat? Yeah, that's my... Should have been Heat Proof, even if it wasn't in the case. No reason to run Hospitality. Yeah, Hospitality doesn't do shit singles. Machagacha. Do we see a burn land here? No. This poor Sinistcha not landing any of its burns that it wants to, getting the one it doesn't. Right? It did land a burn on Vap, didn't it? No, it didn't. So it has yet to get a burn. Let me get my cursor out of the way. He wouldn't go to the rocks otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Terra Blast doing a lot of damage. So you see Terra Water, which makes sense given the fish. Though Terra Watering in front of Iron Hands is... Well, I guess it's plausible. Bro's not going to click Thunder Punch because he has Volt Absorb, so that's not too bad. I think I might have said something along those lines in my Terra preview, so forgive me for that. Ooh, lands the Hypnosis. That's huge. No more Wish Passing. Can't be burned from Machagacha anymore, but can do a significant amount of damage. Do we see a Machagacha? We do. Resisted like a Mofos. 32%'s not bad. Does land the burn, again, on a Pokemon that does not care. Granted, it is more effective on that because he doesn't have any... Holy shit! Fat Shadow Ball. We do see Terra Poison. Chunks the Moonblast. Fires off a Shadow Ball. Down goes Enamorous. Good use of the Terra Poison. But it does die to a crit Thunderbolt. I don't think that crit mattered. That looks like... He's playing like it's Specs. Hold on. Did the music stop? No. Damn Pokemon playlist. A lot of these moves are really... Or a lot of these songs are really quiet. But it is an exclusively Pokemon playlist. Lots of burns. This match has just been Burn City. Baton Pass. Did he reveal Nasty Plot? Did I miss that? I totally must have missed that. Holy shit. So, I do believe TBL in this instance was scouting for... Well, I don't know. Here's the first mistake. Yeah. Well, second mistake. First mistake was not running Heatproof. Yeah, that was rough. Keeping that in front of the Meow was not great. Which does reveal that the Meow is Scarfed, because it did outspeed a Scarfed Chi-Yu. And I'm pretty sure we know Chi-Yu is Scarfed because it still outsped the +1 speed. And second mistake. Third mistake. Well, hold on. Who said I'm disrespecting Scarf Meow? Was I disrespecting Scarf Meow? Or TBL was disrespecting Scarf Meow? Okay, got it. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, good prep there from Tim, getting the Scarf Meow to be able to beat the Chi-Yu, which kind of ran a little rampant if it didn't get the kill there. Obviously, I had to deal with Vaporeon still, but had answers to it in the form of walling it with... Well, not even walling... he still needed an answer for Vaporeon. I think the real big issue was letting the Iron Hands get burned. And here we see a long, unnecessary stall war. Down goes one. And TBL has already resigned to his fate, but is spamming Ice Beams probably just because it does shit damage, but maybe hoping to land a freeze? I don't know. Also, was this Marvel Scale? I don't remember from the pace. Was this Marvel Scale hoping to get, like, Willow burned or something like that? There's the Hypnosis. Okay, so we don't see an Ice Beam freeze. Wakes up, hits a Scald, down. It was Marvel Scale, okay. And there we see a 3-0 win from Tim. Not the cleanest win we've seen so far. I still think Wah's win was pretty good. Alberto's win was pretty clean. Tim did play a little interesting this matchup, but watching Vaporeon get 2 kills there at the end is kind of amusing. So, GG's table, GG's Tim. Unfortunately, only one person may win. Alright, next matchup. We have SNB game. Oh, didn't Bro fucking trade off half of his team? Does it matter for this matchup? Oh, God, I don't remember. Let me see. You'll take revenge in playoffs? Yes, sir. I believe it. I do believe it. Alright, SMB's Terra Captains. We don't see anything that matters. Actually, we don't see a single Terra Captain. No Sir. No Belly... Or, I don't think Belly Bolt was Terra Captain at this time. No Doxbun. Yeah, no Terra Captains from SNB this go around. So, puts him in an interesting position. Obviously, P4 can use that to his advantage. This was a match that I watched in person. I'm going to try to stay neutral, obviously, but just be reminded when I say this is a long, drawn-out fight. Dallas picked a very interesting team this go around out of his normal play style, so it shows. Every match of his has been insanely long. But yeah, very interesting team dynamic from SNB Gaming this season. So yeah, no Terra Captains. Looking at P4 and the Not Just Fluffs, we see Terra Sylveon, and that's it. Sylveon rockin' Terra Fairy, Terra Fire, and Terra Ground. Terra Ground looks good here to deal with Terrakion. Especially because Terrakion has Poison Jab. So gives you a way to evade that weakness. Neutral, but we're all rooting for P4, aka against Stall. True. Not because it's Dallas and we're always rooting against Dallas, but because it's against Stall, right? Even though we do see a little Stally boy chilling in the background there with the Clodsire. He can't win, so he just decided to be sure. yeah, not because it's Dallas, because it's Stall. Right. Anyway, Terra Fairy, Fire, and Ground. I really like Terra... probably Terra... Fuck, man. Terra Fire to deal with Corv. Terra Rock to... or Terra Ground to evade and then counter kill the Terrakion. Also, Terra Ground deals with Incineroar. That's worth noting. I don't think there's a world where Corviknight is slower than this Sylveon. Well... Actually, it could be. There could be a world where this is slower than the Sylveon, so Sylveon could go for like a Terra Ground on a Roost read. That could be pretty interesting. Also, Terra Ground deals with Galarian Slowbro. So yeah, I think Terra Ground is probably the most ideal in this particular matchup. So that being the only Terra Captain, let's rip it. Thank you all, I appreciate you. Terra Fuckman, my favorite, right? Good Terra. We see a Magic Bounce Para. Oof. Big oof there from SNB. Goes for his standard Protect. He runs Protect on this Screamtail like his life depends on it. Can't protect through rocks, can you there, buddy? Man, we really do just hate SNB. Ooh, we see heavy duty boots on the Incineroar. Parting Shot, we do see a knockoff on the Sylveon's leftovers. Wish Dango, U-turn, critical hit doing 3%, wild. Oh no, he's been intimidated. Whatever shall I do? Switch the fuck out, because you don't like that matchup. Parting Shot again. So Sylveon is faster, so there's going to be no Terra Ground Roost shenanigans. Terra Fire looks good into it, though. Though I do still think Terra Ground is the more probable, because it deals with 3 of the Pokemon on SMB's team. This is just a back and forth match. I really don't feel like commentating a turn-by-turn play. Just a whole lot of pivoting. You know what? We're gonna speed this up just a little bit. Ooh, Thunderwave Hex. Cool. First interesting thing we've seen. Flare Blitz doing a decent chunk of damage into Flareon. Won't be able to pick up the KO. Goes for Will-O-Wisp. Clodsire hits the field. Corviknight comes down, eats some rock damage. Gets a wish, though. Doesn't give a fuck. Goes for defog, but no! Goldengo says, get fucked. I blocked that shit. Screamtail taking some damage, and then dies to make it rain. Okay, we have our first KO. 26 turns into the match, we get a KO. Actually, that Sylveon is always slower. Did I miss something? What the fuck did I miss? I swear it was faster. Did it not click wish before? Am I retarded? Was that a switch in? I might be retarded. Don't answer that. Right, so if you're min speed, how the... Again, I swear, wish came... Did it... Whatever, let's see. Oh, he's fucking paralyzed. I'm an idiot. Yeah. So it was slower. It's not anymore. Ooh. Not a great position for the Terrakion. Even worse position for the Terrakion. SMB's team is slowly falling apart. Goldengo came out, got one kill, and said, get fucked. Eerie Spell? What the fuck does Eerie Spell even do? Deals damage and reduces the PP of the target's last used move by 3. Okay, cool. It's shitty or disable. Actually, it's probably still better than disable. Yeah, it's still better than disable because it deals damage at the same time. Alright. Hex, down goes that. That is 3 kills now for the Goldengo? God, yeah, no. Hoopa comes out one more time and it dies. Hyperspace Fury doing a shitload of damage. Picks up a kill on the Torn. Not a clean 6-0 from P4. Doing his average of 5 kills. So not this season, but last season he averaged a 5 mon differential. Let's see if SMB can pick up... Nope, that's game. Urshifu got 2 kills. Goldengo got 3. And Clodsire picking up a KO to finish the match. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Airy Spell's not a bad move. You just don't see it a lot, I think, is the issue. Good draft. Yeah, pretty damn good in draft, you know, especially against specific matchups and stuff like that. What move did he use that on? That was on Thunderwave. So Thunderwave lost a whopping 3 PP. Was finished at 2/3. Quickest SMB game of the season. Yeah, especially when you hear how long some of his mocks have taken. My God. Alright. We're just going to skip the last matchup because I don't want to talk about it. This was a doomed matchup. Okay? Like, this was doomed. Alberto and I ran a lot of mocks for a long time. We tried a few different scenarios. There was even a world where I was bringing Palafin, because Utility Umbrella Palafin still looked good into the team. But holy fuck, getting it in and keeping it in position was just impossible. It was impossible. So this was a losing match. Not to fucking spoil it, but like, you guys ready to watch me get my ass obliterated? Because it was not great. And I did make a couple of questionable plays. So, yeah. Terra Captains. For me, I have Terra Captain Toxtricity with Terra Electric, Terra Normal, and Terra Ghost. I think Terra Normal is pretty good into this team, minus the Chandelure. And Terra Electric also looks pretty decent into the team. Well, actually not as decent into the team, given the fact that he has this beefy douchebag right here. So having 2 resists on the, or an immunity and a resist on the electric, it's not great. Terra Normal looked a lot more free. So I think Terra Normal is probably what I would go with here. And then on the Hydrapple, we have Terra Dragon, Terra Steel, and Terra Fairy. I think Terra Fairy looks really good into this matchup. I was terrified of the Slowbro this entire time. Yeah, our mocks went awful. Our mocks for this were awful. I think there was one game where I got down to a 1-mon differential, and that was the closest I got in mocks. So, just a little heads up for the ass beating that is getting ready to come my way. I know we didn't rank Saline that high in the power rankings, just because as far as draft goes, bro is missing a lot of key things. But this team has such a sheer offensive pressure, which is really good for Sun teams, because you're limited, right? Like, obviously I don't have a weather setter, but still, you know, Heat Rock only gives you 8 turns. And in a match that can go 30, 40, 50 turns long, you don't want that in a Sun team. You want to come in, get shit done, get the fuck out of Dodge as fast as you can. So, pretty offensive, very oppressive team here from Saline. His Terra captains for this matchup are... Oh, right. Terra Fairy is what I was talking about. Terra's on Hydrapple. Obviously, Terra Dragon looks decent into both of these. Terra Fairy looks good into Wake. He also had a... Yeah, bro also has fucking Slitherwing. So Terra Fairy looked really good here. I just had to deal with the threat of this thing. And then Crown, obviously... Or not Crown. Gouging Fire obviously resists. So, yeah. Looking at Saline's Terra types, we see Terra Chandelure, which went with Terra Ghost, Terra Grass, and Terra Fairy. I can't find his name on the sheet because I'm a little retarded, so I'm just shooting that from memory. I'm blind as hell. What the fuck is his team name? Oh, right. I had to change his team name. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. It was Terra Fire, not Ghost. Terra Fire, Grass, and Fairy. I think Terra Grass looks not that great into this. It dies to Toxtricity Poison. It dies to Weavile, which it already doesn't want to come face to face with, and it dies to Moltres, having Flamethrower or Fire and Air flying type moves. So Terra Grass doesn't look that great. Terra Fairy is probably what I would consider dealing with, but then at that point you have to deal with Iron Treads and the Toxtricity. So that could be interesting. And we have the Terra Galarian Slowbro, which is Poison, Water, and Ground. Ground looks super good into my team, just because this Weavile dies if you breathe on it. I think Water would be better to resist anything I could throw at it, especially the super effective knockoffs. And it deals with Treads, but then it dies to Toxtricity. I don't know. It's a 50-50. I think Water and Ground both work into this team. Water helps deal with Moltres too, so that's cool, but you are mitigated by your sun damage, so I would say probably not going for Terra Blast. You're probably going to go for Terra Ground, just to try to get as many neutral hits as you can. So, yeah, I'd say Terra Ground, probably. We see a non-pan versus Toxtricity lead. Goes for knockoff, which just hurt Hatterene right off the bat. Lose my Citrus Berry. Draining Kiss does nothing. Switch out there. Come into Treads. On the Sludge Bomb read. Does go for immediate Terra Ground. I brought a lot of Protect just to try to whittle down the Sun turns. And in the potential that, well, obviously Sun, but also like, Banded, Gouging Fire, Specs, Walking Awake, or Scarf. They could both be Scarf. But here I see Dragon Claw, and that kind of tells me that that's not Banded. So that did help out a little bit. Ninetales tanks that. Get some damage in there with the Air Slash. I go for Protect here to scout, see what he's going for, while also... And I realize I'm in Sun. I can live the fuck out of that flip turn. I do land the Flame Body, which is nice. Go for a Roost there. Chandelure comes out. This was annoying. Oh god, this was annoying. I didn't have any items I wanted to get rid of, but I switch into that because my my Citrus Berry is already gone. I take his Choice Scarf, which is cool, I guess. Get really low to Shadow Ball. Go for the Roost. That thing just does insane damage. Sun is down, which is great. I do block and protect again because I want to keep my boots, because there's a Dawn fan. Shadow Ball kills Hatterene, and my team starts to fall apart. Earthquake does a good chunk of damage there. I protect to Scout. He goes for Flamethrower. I know Bro has both Surf and Flamethrower. I don't know that he has Surf in this setup, but I know he can learn it. Knockoff. There go my boots. Big unfortunate. Air Slash. Huge. I get the flinch. I roost up, which was a mistake because we see Stealth Rocks, and I now no longer have boots. Ninetales comes out. Air Slash. Air Slash again. Air Slash again. I get the flinch. Hell yeah. Air Slash again. I get the flinch. Hell yeah. Moltres putting in work. Yeah, this was rough. Big rough. I probably should have gone for Air Slash again there, but I think that might have clenched the kill. I don't remember. This Shadow Ball is just doing so much damage into me, because I built my Moltres more defensive than especially defensive, mostly because I knew that I died to Walking Wick anyway, and I wanted to live Gouging Fire. And there goes my Terra Fairy, by the way. I did bring Terra Fairy. And I'm pretty sure Calyx said I lived that, so that's fun. Donphan picks up a KO there, which is nice. Protect here just to see what he's gonna do. Obviously he goes for Hydro Steam. And I think I sack something here. Does he live? Do I live this? Fuck no, I don't. Triple Axle. Does decent damage. I knew he wasn't banded. I don't know why the fuck I still went for it. I don't know why I still went for it. And then obviously Triple Axle is not going to pick up the KO there. And down goes Weavile. So now it's a 5v2. I have came back from very similar situations, but I don't think it's happening with this. Treads picks up a kill. It's game over. The moment Moltres comes in, it's dead. Treads picks up another KO. At this point, I'm just fighting for differential. Yeah, I'm just fighting for differential. And down goes that. Here comes the bird. Eats a shit ton of damage from the rocks and dies to Wake. So that was my week 3. I don't think I played horribly. I do think there was a situation where instead of sacking and this was something that Wah pointed out, and I do agree with this. I do think I could have sacked Moltres instead of Toxtricity. And then I could have clicked, because I already lost my Terra Hydrapple, I could have clicked Terra Normal and spammed Boom Burst. The only then issue would have been the Chandelure, which, depending on how I positioned myself, I might have been able to pick up a KO with it, but, like, the thing has Flamethrower and in the sun. So I still think it was a losing battle, but I do think there was it could have worked out. I was Choice Scarf on the Toxtricity, so I don't really think there was really a world where I get any better than what I got. I was just happy to pick up an extra 2 KOs there from the Great Tusk, or I'm sorry, Iron Treads. So really good game there from Saline. Very hard team to prep into, and yeah, unfortunately it is what it is, and you're gonna get that on those big jobs. Not sure sacking Ninetales was necessary. I don't think it was. I don't really think it was. He didn't need Sun. So, I guess that was a decent misplay from him, was just lowering his differential. Like, he still got the win, which is more impactful, but yeah. Looking at our FOP/Elysium nominations this week, given we have we're missing 2 matches, so there's not a lot to go on. I really think Wah has a huge contention for Elysium. Wah has a pretty huge contention for Elysium here. This game was phenomenal. His prep was stupid awesome. That Smackdown was great. He had a very interesting set on Baspi Legion 2. specifically for countering, I want to say it was Urshifu. So, very nicely done from Wah. I'm gonna put you in the nominations for Elysium. I can't give it to Tim. I don't think Alberto played awful. Playing against a Weather War against Slowking is kind of rough, and especially when there's a Thundurus on the team that just checks a lot of your mons. Cleavor checks a couple of your things, so I do think this matchup was pretty. Excuse me, huh? It was for Urshifu. Okay. I think Alberto could also be considered part of the nominations, but I don't think Tim deserves it. P4 also played a really good game. He worked through the stall pretty well to lower SNB's natural stall nature, and he worked around it very well. Blocking the spin, like he utilized everything in his disposal for this match, and it worked out very well for him. So I think Alberto, Wah, and P4 are going to be the considerations for Elysium this week. As far as FOP goes, I don't think I deserve it. Though I'm being really hard on myself, too. But also, this was not a winnable matchup. We tried so many things. Nah, fuck Alberto and P4. I don't think I deserve Fields of Punishment. I don't think SNB really deserves Fields of Punishment. I think he just got out-prepped. His team inherently has a lot of holes in its plan. You really have to rely on the stall, and once that stall gets broken, with a team like Urshifu, that has Tornadus, Urshifu, and Goldengo, it's really easy to break through stall. Those were three very breaking mons, especially with the denial that is Clodsire and Espeon. I think this was just a bad matchup for SNB, so I don't think he's in contention for that. Table, I do actually think has a chance at hitting Fields of Punishment this week, so I think I'm going to nominate him for the contender. Not respecting the Meow was huge. Obviously, you knew it was choice to a degree with how it was playing, with how it was maneuvering, with how it was pivoting, but the downside is that it was just so... It's already so fast, right? But none of the damage that it was landing really was huge, so I think that was kind of a good telltale sign that it wasn't banded. It didn't hit anything crazy hard normally, it didn't hit anything that it would have normally hit crazy hard, so maybe it was just hard to scout that, but I do think there was a couple telltale signs that obviously it was choiced and it wasn't dealing excessive damage, so guessing it was Scarf was not out of the realm of possibilities. And then you gambled with the Chi-Yu, which, realistically speaking, wouldn't have mattered because your team doesn't do well into Meow. Honestly, your team doesn't really do too well into Meow. But I think the series of misplays that happened after letting Iron Hands get burned, knowing that it had Will-O-Wisp, not running Hospitality, or not running Heat Proof, which is just dumb. I mean, prep comes into that play as well. But, yeah. I don't know. I would say, out of all of the matches, that's probably the contention for FOP, but at the end of the day, I don't think this match was really going well anyway because of the fact that Meow was scarfed, so I don't know. I'm 50-50, leaning more towards 49-51 in favor of not giving it to TBL. What the fuck is chat saying? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no FOP this week. I think yeah. Because this was just a shitty situation all around. Like, sure, you had a series of misplays, but like you said, at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered. So, no FOP this week, and then we have Alberto, Wah, and P4 in the nominations for Elysium. Oops. Alright, let's look at our standings. I always sit in a stupid position where this is harder to do. Good enough. Okay. Looking at our standings, we see Cinderace with a gnarly 7-0 differential. Is this finally where we stop having as many ties? No, there's still a fuckload of ties. My god. Okay. In first place, Cinderace, 7-0. In second place, Meowscarada, 6-0. In tied for third place is Hoopa Unbound and Thundy T, both going 5-2. In fourth place is Rabombi, going 4-0. That was from TBL's week 1. In fifth place, we have Darkrai. In fifth place, we have Darkrai and Floatzel going 4-1. In sixth place, we have a huge fucking tie for Colossal, Alolan Muck, Chi-Yu, Terapagos, Walking Wake, going 4-2. In seventh place is Zapdos. In sixth place, I'm not counting backwards. In eighth place is Palafin, going 3-0. In ninth place is a two-way tie between Goldango and Heatran, going 3-1. And then we have a long series of ties for 10. Going 3-2, we have Iron Crown, Iron Treads, Galarian Slowbro, Galarian Slowking, nice. Tornadus Therian, Vaporeon. And then Gouging Fire, just barely missing the cut there, along with Sandy Shocks. So, hope we're seeing this top 10 MVP race getting thinned out as each week goes on. Obviously, the more games these Pokemon play, the more there's going to be some variation. But we're in week 3. It's not going to be too crazy extensive. Same with Urbombi. Bro played one, still top 5 2 weeks later. Yeah, that's awesome. That 4-0 is crazy good. But yeah, that's going to be that. Looking at our standings, we have... Ooh. Tim at number 1, going 3-0. Tied with Wah, going 3-0 with a diff of +7. P4 and Alberto tied at 2-1. P4 has a bigger diff of +6. Alberto is tied... I'm sorry. Alberto... Oh, wow. Okay, lots of 2-1s. I guess I should read. P4, Alberto, TBL, and myself. I'm at the bottom of the barrel there. Got to work on that. Chuckle's going 1-2 with a perfectly even differential. Brett 1-2 with a -1 differential. Lots of 2-1s, so obviously there's a lot of 1-2s. So there is that. Those are our standings. That is the current playoffs race. And yeah, that's going to be it for this stream, guys. Like I said, it was a pretty short one. Thank God it is the last one of this weekend. I've done 4 streams this weekend. I've prepped and mocked 2 different battles. Ugh. And I lost both of them. Awesome. Anyway, gonna come back at it with more vivacity next week. And I can't wait to see you all there. Can't wait to watch the battles, both Phalanx and Hoplite. And yeah, thanks again for everyone who came out. Thanks again for everyone who's participating. And we will... Wow, we just peaked to a shit ton of viewers. Well, not a shit ton, but like 9 is kind of crazy. Oh, and we lost one. Okay, bye. Didn't want you anyway. Just kidding. We did. Come back. Come back just to see, just so I can say goodbye to you. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.